on because Jehovah built it. You can feel the spirit and positive energies. Questions asked comfortably like you're talking with family. Get ready to settle in. Wait for the show to begin. Invite a couple of friends. It's time for Unhinged.
Introduce to you Get You Home Towing, a family company with the sole purpose to get you home. Whether you need roadside assistance or transport services, we have a flatbed big enough to transport any vehicle to its destination. Our offer to you is our gratitude and great service at a much cheaper price. We are also open to transport through long distances. If you need us, all you have to do is call that number. I'll see you soon.
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? Y'all all right? I mean, what's really going on? Thank you so much for tuning in. You're tuned in to Unhinged Live. I'm your host, Nikita Tilted Halo Hansford, and I'm sitting alongside my good girlfriend, Karen Sims Harrell of Twisted Threads LLC. I want to go ahead and take this opportunity to say hello, welcome, aloha to all of our replay viewers who are going to join us at a later date. We really appreciate you tapping on into tonight's conversation, and we hope that you enjoy what we continue to bring to you all, because what we do here on the platform, we absolutely do for the love of the people. I want to go ahead and familiarize you all with what's going to happen on tonight's show, and then we are going to get into it. Of course, y'all already know we got a gorgeous guest tonight, all right? She going to be in the room in a little bit, of course. And of course, I'm going to get into the superfan shout out before we bring our guest in. Of course, we're going to have a wonderful, on point, timely music break tonight. And then we're going to get into it. That round table discussion that you all have come to know, love, and enjoy. What's really going on? And of course, we got to have our weekly dose of nourishment for the soul, brought to us by our very own in-house master life coach, Coach Cash. Karen Sims Harrell, that one on the opposite side of the screen for me. Look, her. Yeah, she's going to bring us a wonderful word of encouragement with tonight's reflection of purpose. So I got to go ahead and bring it back a little bit. And I got to check in with you, Karen. How you doing? How was your day?
My day was good. It was a good day. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. We had kind of like a smorgasbord of can't complain because the good was really good and the bad wasn't so bad. How about that? So right there in the middle. Now, I only got one challenge because we got reports of snow. And, these folks don't know what to do with snow down here. And so it's the frequency of it, it's in my prayers to, Lord, change this frequency, right? Because I know you probably are trying to clean and clear some things out, as they say the snow often does. But they not ready. They not ready. So I will be at home tomorrow while whoever is driving, whatever's going on with the school system, I'm going to be staying in place, sheltering in place, I think is what we call it, so that should the non-drivers decide to get on the road, I won't be one of the drivers that they may or may not collide with. So we're going to stay home. I already got the fuzzy slippers and my fuzzy bottoms already picked out because that's what we're doing. But super excited that as we celebrate winter, because it's that everywhere, I got to check in with you as well, because I keep saying keep that snow up there, but apparently somebody up there is on punishment and done snuck out the house and trying to bring that foolishness down here. So I gotta check in with you because I heard y'all had a little bit of snow over the past week as well. So I gotta ask the question, how you doing?
I'm hustling and surviving. Good times. Listen, I survived the snow, Karen. I'm happy that I actually had a day off yesterday. to
Beautiful.
commemorate Martin Luther King Day. So I was able to take my time, making sure that my home was in order so that we don't have any slip and falls in front of my property. I'm grateful that even God answered my prayer. Okay, let me holler at you. I'm a woman of a certain age, a queenager known to some. And sis didn't want to shovel no snow this year. Okay. I got the ergonomic shovel to preserve my back. I got a nice self-propelled snow blower. So I really ain't got to do much. But I just didn't want to. In my heart, I cried out to the Lord and I said, send help.
Glory.
Send help, Father. I can't. I'm grateful that you give me the ability to do it, but I don't want to. So send help, Daddy. Abba, can you hear me? And
yes,
I received the help that I requested from a member of our tribe that you're gonna meet very, very soon. Brother and I was just having conversation, and I let him know that I had just cleared the front of my house, and he was like, "Yo, I would have did that for you." And I was like, "Yeah, sir, say less. Can you come take out my car?"
Mm-hmm.
And he did that without hesitation. So because of the kindness and the generosity, sis got in the kitchen and threw some sausage and a biscuit and some eggs at a brother for his hard work. Okay. So, I don't mind feeding you. It's the barter system over here. Okay. Didn't want to leave the house, go to the ATM. Didn't want to use Zelle from a particular account. As long as it was some beef sausages involved, brother was good. So, and I did not have,
don't forget the bread and the bread.
because I had, the biscuit that showed up was a bit unexpected. From the response, I was like, "Oh, it's biscuits involved." I said, "Listen, last time I checked, men like bread. They don't carb count the way we do."
Exactly.
So I threw some Grand's buttermilk biscuits, the fluffy.
Anyway, all right now.
The wise servant knows how to say thank you. All right. And sometimes, an act of kindness is all that someone is needing in that moment. It's not always money that is the cure. So, I hope this relationship could continue. I'll keep some food in the freezer. Just keep shoveling my snow. We good. But anyway.
I'm glad you stay safe. That's all I heard. Okay, I'm gonna turn everything else off. But I heard
I was not in harm's way in any way, shape, or form. There was no vulgarities because y'all know I might have, I may have. We can neither confirm or deny the allegations, but I might be extremely good at defending myself from an alleged perpetrator. That's all I'm gonna say.
I remind the folks I eat cake, so sometimes that's the difficulty. You're not flinging and throwing me nowhere. Why? Because I eat cake. Okay, you're gonna need an extra bag of Wheaties if you come over here. But okay, right. So we're staying on track.
Yeah. You want to see, but you took me there, Karen.
I did. I apologize.
And to piggyback on what you said, y'all know what we've often heard: thick thighs save lives. And sometimes that life I save might be my own. But allow me to digress because it's cold out here in the Lehigh Valley, and this level of cold has a different impact and effect on our beautiful levels of melanin. And we don't need our pretty sister ashy, and we don't need her lotion contending with nature because nature wilding. So let me go ahead and get into this week's super fan shout out. All right, can I get a drum roll?
All right, now we're gonna get drum rolls.
Goody. Ta-da! Listen, lean in, y'all. And if y'all know her, go get her because I'm about to put her name all in the atmosphere. This week's super fan shout out goes to, oh my goodness, I am such a fan girl, to my sister, Pattersonian. herself, Miss Monique Latisse, or should I say, comedian extraordinaire, Monique Latisse. Listen, during the beginning of my branding journey, I was out here in these streets, all masked up. And the first instruction I received was to go back to Patterson to build, go back home, and start from my roots and see what was happening on over there. So I ended up going into Patterson, and I was connected with this beautiful group of people. But the person who stood out to me the most was Monique Latisse. I didn't know what it was in the moment, but I later discovered she's a history maker herself. She's the first African-American woman to own and operate her own comedy club in the state of New Jersey. Now, due to the unfortunate circumstances of the COVID pandemic emergency, she was unfortunately forced to close her doors, but I'm grateful for the opportunity that I had to actually work with her in a managerial role there at the club for a short time. Can I tell you, working a night at her club, I absolutely had over 10,000 steps a night. But being in her presence absolutely felt like walking into a warm hug. I had never encountered a performer with her demeanor, her spirit. And I promise you, after one of our performances there, we had a DJ, and I connected with Monique in her spirit of worship. I got to see how sis was crying out to God with my own eyes. And that's how I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that my obedience led me to the person and the people I needed to connect to. So shout out to you, Monique. I see that you're embarking on your own tour, that you're curating yourself. Baby, you got this, queen. And I also saw where you were with the audience person, one of these daytime talk shows today. I saw the post. I follow you all the time because I am looking forward to hosting you here on the platform again, Monique. You're bold. You're beautiful. And honey, can we talk about a gorgeous plus size queen? You are everything, sis. And I'm so proud of you. Stay encouraged. And I'm putting your name in the atmosphere. Her name is Monique Latisse, y'all. Monique, y'all know how to spell that. It's the traditional spelling. Latisse, Latise. Look her up. And while you're looking her up, she's very versatile in the comedy game. You want that Christ-like comedy, ha ha, kiki? She got you. If you need it, so you can receive it the way you shall, she got you too. I'm grateful for the anointing and the gift that God has placed in my girl, Monique. So check it out. It's about time. It's about time to transition the show. And listen, if y'all was around on Sunday evening, y'all saw that we had hopped on over to the Unmuted podcast, and we were hosted by the lovely Recia Kabbah. Check it out. She our sister in the craft, and I'm excited to be hosting her here with us on tonight. Listen, as we prepare to bring her into the room, I want to go ahead and give y'all a little bit of her bio because it is extensive. So again, I'm excited about the conversation. So Recia's life story is a testament to her resilience and unwavering determination to overcome adversity. Born and raised in Liberia, she grew up in poverty and experienced the devastating loss of her siblings and parents to illness. Despite these challenges, she refused to give up on her dreams of creating a better life for herself and her family. As a mother of three, Recia has always been committed to providing a brighter future for her children. She pursued her passion for modeling and acting while also working as a direct care counselor for individuals with mental illness for almost 2 decades. Along the way, she faced numerous setbacks and disappointments, but she refused to let them defeat her. Karen, Go let her in the room, girl. We're just gonna let her in the room, girl. Hey,
Yay!
hello, gorgeous. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I see that big, beautiful smile. Thank you so much for sharing it with our audience.
Welcome. Thank you. I'm happy to be here with you, ladies. So I'm happy to be here, and thank you for having me.
No problem. You know, we have run in the same circles for years, and this is a conversation I was looking forward to having. I believe I mentioned to you, I've unfortunately not had the opportunity to read your book. However, you are the book. So I'm grateful that we get to ask you questions related to your work of art. So our listeners can hop on over to them Amazon streets and
Yes.
purchase a copy for themselves. All right.
Yes. Let's go.
No problem. We finna get into it.
Let's
All
get
right.
it.
So I'm gonna start it off tonight. And Karen, you already know, pop that church finger up. Get in on this
You know it.
conversation.
You know
All
it.
right. Can you share with us, Recia? Share with us your early life growing up in Liberia and the challenges you faced during your childhood.
Yes, sure I can. So it started with as you read in my bio, losing my mother and father. But my mother, when she was pregnant with me, I was told she was having a very, very difficulty with the pregnancy. And so doctors actually thought that she and I wasn't going to survive. She had 4 children. I was the fourth one, and she had her kids back to back, back to back. So that became a concern for the doctor, how she was receiving the kids. And so it actually had an impact on her health. But thankfully, she and I both survived through the pregnancy, and she delivered, but she never really fully recovered um, from her complications. And so 7 years later, she passed on. And but before the 7 years, I was removed from her along with my older sister to live with my father's sister because she was so ill she could not take care of us, you know. So I did not see my mother maybe from 3 years old. I have no remembrance of her. So when she passed, we were brought back home for her funeral. And so, yeah, I don't remember who she is. I wish I had any memories of her. And then, of course, we had the war in our country for like 10 years, you know, so we lose everything. People lose everything. And so pictures, whatever, they don't have anything for me. Nobody can give me anything but your mother was, your mother was, your mother was. That's it. I have no memories of her. And I talk about that in my book. That's one of the touching places for me because when I'm talking about her, I wish I know who I'm talking about. I just want to know, do I look like you? Do I sound like you? You know, but yeah, so that was the early on for me. And my father, I did not get to live with him because after she passed, they took me and gave me to her friend to raise me, her best friend, because that was her dying wish. She wanted her best friend to keep me. Since she knew she wasn't going to make it, she told her best friend, you know, to please have my daughter and take care of her because she was financially stable, financially equipped to take care of me. So, yeah. And so I was moved away from my father and my siblings and to a whole new city, you know. And that's how my childhood trauma started. That's how it all began from that place. Yeah.
Sis, I'm sure you know I can relate to that piece of your story, you know, because I was graced to be able to reconnect with my mother. So continued grace and peace to you. But what I will say to you is, honey, I'm looking at you, I'm listening to you, and I can imagine you are so much like your mother, determined, resilient,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what. She brought life. And look at you, no matter what, you're bringing life to so many people through all of your creative gifts, whether you're killing it on the runway, because bad girl, and how you've managed to go ahead and turn your pain into purpose to impact lives for the better for future generations to come. So, girl, I know your mama because I.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You sound like my aunt. She always like certain time I do certain things. She'd be like, man, she wants to cry. She'd be like, you sound just like your mom. You did this just like your mom. Like even when I'm yelling at my kids when they were young, she would be like, that's how your mom used to be yelling at you guys. Like you remind me of her so much. You remind me of my sister so much. So I'm like, oh my God. You know, I don't even know this person, but I'm acting just like her. I'm behaving just like her. I don't even know. You know, so that brings me some peace at times. But yeah.
Oh, yeah, I get it. I get it. So, now did so much loss early on in your life. How did you use that as a catapult to like inspire your outlook on life, and your determination to succeed?
Yeah. So, you know, from where I came from, being in that environment where you don't even have a dream, okay? You don't even know where you're gonna get your next meal. All right. As a kid, you just living. You have no dreams. You don't at times you don't even go to school, you know, because the parents could not afford to pay school fee, or during the time we had the war, we wasn't stable in a particular place. So for 10 years, you're moving from places to places. So you can't go to school. Before you know it, you just are grown like 4 or 5 years already. And then when you start school again, you can't go back to sitting in the second grade. You go like maybe in the fifth grade because of your age. So now your brain is not equipped to that level, you know, all of those things. As so many times I did not go to school because of the war or because of financial. And then thankfully, when my aunt went back home, she took a look at me because before she went home, she had no clue I was already living with my uncle, which is my mother's little brother. So my second mom had already sent me over to live with my uncle at the age of 16, around 17. So she was like, I had no clue you was here already with your uncle. So I'm going to make sure you're going to go with me back to the state. But, you know, everything has to do with document, you know, immigration, all of that stuff. So anyway, long story short, she did all of those things. And, you know, I said, may her soul rest in peace, because she actually passed during the time I was writing my book. It's interesting. Yeah. At the same time, she had no clue I was writing my book, but she was ill and she went back home and she passed. And I also have a chapter in there just that I dedicated to her and how I appreciate her. So losing my mother, and then when I was here already, my older sister, she became very ill, poor medical attention, and she passed. And this was like a mother to me, being that she took over that role with our mother not being there. So even though I did not grow up with them, she always kept me at heart. She always checked on me, you know, my baby. Like she could not wait to see me. She could not wait to come to this state. Like that was just her dream. You could give her anything, just give her her little baby girl. And when she got ill, that was something that really hurt me, and she did not survive. She, December 22nd, 2016, I believe, she passed. So then maybe 2 years after that, my brother also became ill and he passed. So all these people was dying, and I just finally had the opportunity to connect with them, to get to know them, because I lived so far from them with the war. We did not get to talk, see. Now I'm like a grown woman with my own kids. And these people saw me the last time they saw me, I was like maybe 4 years old. All right. So now I'm in my 30s, I have my own babies now, just hoping for us to reconnect. And then, they got ill and they passed. So at some point I started to question God. I was like, why me? Why all of these things are happening to me? I just want my family. All right, I know I have family over here that has been there for me, that has been doing things for me, but there's nothing like your blood, right? I just want that connection. And now that I thought I had the opportunity, everyone is being taken away. What did I do wrong? And I started to ask God those questions. But to put an icing on the cake, my father, so I got the opportunity to go back home to visit, and I actually met my father, which I was happy for. I look just like him. Now I ruled that out, I'm like, oh, I look just like my father, because my mother was fair skinned, very fair skinned. My father is dark skinned, just tall, skinny. So I saw where I came from, reconnected with him, got pictures and all of that. But that was it. When I came back, that was it. He got sick. Again, medical, no good medical, and he passed. I remember when my father passed, Nikita, I became so, that was one moment that muted me to where the pain I was feeling kept me so silent. I could not cry, I could not shed a tear. I was just like so numb. I remember that day when I received the news, I sat on the stairs. I was just like, damn, you can't even cry, like no emotions. What's going on here? It's not that I wasn't hurting. It's like the pain was so much that I could not even, I could not react or, and I just sat there and I'm like, God, what is it? Is it me next? Like, am I going to be next? Because now my mother is gone, my sister is gone, my brother is gone. Just me and one more sister. Just it. That's it. So it's either going to be her next or me next, and I went through that moment for a while. And then I started to think in a more positive way. I was like, you know what? God cannot give you anything you can't handle. He gave you this opportunity to be in this country for a reason. You eventually you're going to have a story to tell, because this is too much. I know people, they have family that lose a lot of people, but I just felt like God had a plan for my life. And that's why in the first place, he brought me here, because he looked amongst everyone and he chose me, And so instead of me questioning him, I started to just appreciate. Rather than questioning him, because only him knows. You cannot question him. And eventually I started to convince myself that God loved me, and the reason why all of these things are happening to me, because he has a story for me to tell. And so, yeah.
Powerful.
I'm sorry. That's my daughter. Sorry, my daughter calling. I'm sorry. So with all of those people passing and everything, grieving became something for me. Grieving became something that became normal now. It became my reality. It's like, all right, what next? What's next? Who's gonna die now? Okay, it's no big deal, stuff like that. But I'm here today to tell my story, so I'm grateful. I'm grateful. That's all I can say for now.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. I love it. You know, we got some questions in the comment streets as well. Shout out to our sister friend, Rhonda Thomas Booth. Thanks so much for joining us, our tribe mate. And some of it you've already, answered. But Rhonda is curious to know, do you practice or honor any of your beliefs and traditions from Liberia? And have you returned to Liberia since you left? So I know you mentioned the reunion with your dad, but if you could answer both of those questions, that'd be awesome.
I'm sorry. Can you say that again? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
sure. So
about my daughter. Yeah.
do you practice or honor any of your beliefs and traditions from Liberia? And then have you returned to Liberia since you left?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Christian, so I live by that. There's not a special religion that I practice from my country because I was born in a Christian home. So I go to church. I love God. I believe in God, and that's how I live my everyday life. When something bothers me, I go to him. When something is wrong with me, I go to God. That's how I was raised. That's all I know. Going back to Liberia, I've been back home twice. So after my father passed, I believe 2 or 3 years later, I went back home. First, I did not want to go home because it was going to bring so much memories, back to me. So I was trying to avoid going home, but I did go home because again, my sister passed, my brother passed, and then he passed. So I went home to visit my sister. At the time, she was still there. So now she was alone with her kids, and I'm here. So I went home and visit my nieces and nephews, visit with my sister, and find a way for her to join me here because I feel like, all right, it's just the two of us now. Everybody else is gone, with being sick and stuff. So I did not want to wait another chance for the one person I had left. What if she gets sick, So I did all I could do, and thankfully she's here. She's in Pennsylvania. That's my older sister. So she's here. So at least I have that to lean on as a blood relative, So yeah.
Awesome. Appreciate you sharing that.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So Recia, we're gonna turn this a little bit. So listen, I gotta ask you because I made mention about you and all your fabulosity, killing it on these here runways and such. And I've had the pleasure of working with you with different photo shoots and things like that. So I see how you get down. So I need to ask you.
I got down.
This is how you get out. Listen, she work a camera, y'all. That's all I'm gonna say. She will work that camera. Listen, what inspired you to pursue a career in modeling and in acting despite the adversities you faced?
Good question. So, like I said earlier, growing up back home, you have no dreams, no hopes of anything. So given this opportunity to be in a country where you are unstoppable, you have all the opportunities at your fingertip. You have the choice to use it or don't. And so I started to have a dream when I came here because I knew that I was more than what I was. I knew that I wanted more. I knew that I wanted a better life. I knew that because God has given me this opportunity, I wasn't going to waste it. I was going to make all the necessary effort to live a better life, to give my children a better life. And so it's crazy. I used to work for other people. I used to do like home care. I used to work for virtual. And so every client I went to, I'm not lying, every client I went to, everyone kept saying something that I wasn't saying at the time. And these old people, one in particular stood out to me, and she was like, "Why are you here?" Well, I'm like, I'm here to take care of you. And she was like, I know, but honey, you can be walking those wrong way. You are so beautiful. You should go for it. That was her exact word. And I just smiled. She said, I'm not playing with you. You should go. You should go. You should try it. So, with everyone else telling me that, plus my own heart telling me I had to do more, I had to do more, not to set myself short, I had the opportunity. So, I started to pursue that part of my dream as a model. And you can never predict when you are in this field where you will be successful or who's going to come along and want to work with you for whatever that is. So me doing the modeling stuff, acting came along. You meet people and you connect with people, and so it's just been a journey for me. So from pursuing my modeling to acting, that's how I even met my girl Justine, like 2016. That's how we met on a movie scene. So God created this opportunity for me to surround me with great people that could help me along the way. And I took that as a blessing, and I pursued and I kept pursuing, and here I am today. I'm unstoppable because everything I can do to give myself a better life, to give my children a better life, to have my children be proud of me, that's my goal.
I love it. Listen, we are enjoying you sharing all of the facets of your life, and I feel like we've only just touched the iceberg, right? Because you got a lot of ventures. We talked about the modeling, we talked about the acting, and we all see the gorgeousness that is coming across the screen that we're seeing. But now I want to dig in a little bit more, right? Because I want to talk to you a little bit about what motivated you to start. Is it Recia Boutique? And how has your business evolved since its inception?
So Recia Boutique, yes, Recia Boutique came about. You know how you have this intuition. You have this. I felt like something was incomplete, and I always love fashion. And I had a dream to open my own business. Of course, when I was here already, I had this dream to open my own business because I just admire, helping people get dressed. I love to shop, girl. I would shop all day and don't even wear the clothes. They're still hanging with some tag on them, And so I'm like, why not open my own store where I can help people be beautiful? I can be a part of someone looking good. If somebody don't have an outfit, they can just call me up, and then the pandemic came. During that time, everyone sit still. Like, you had no choice but to sit still. All right. The whole world was sitting still. And what a nerve I had when no one is going out, nobody's doing anything. That's the time I found courage to open this boutique. Why? I don't know. But for some reason, I kept procrastinating. And, I would knock it off here and there. I'd be like, no. But then one day I said to myself, well, if you don't start now, when?
Yeah.
When? If you don't start now, when? This is something that is on your mind. So you might as well start it. Don't you worry about who's going to buy right now, who's going to shop. Don't worry about it. People are not going out. Who's going to shop? Who's going to support me? Don't stop worrying about all of those things. Just start the business already. And so I went ahead, did the whole process, registered my business, and I came out. I said, okay, I'm going to call it Recia Boutique because it's Recia Kabbah. So I'm going to just combine my names and call it Recia Boutique and register my business. And, long story short, Recia Boutique was born. And when I did that website, you'll be amazed. Even though people wasn't going out, but females, we just shop. For whatever reason, we just shop.
That's right. No matter the address, we're going to get it.
We're going to buy some new clothes. And so the guys used to ask me, why don't you have men clothes? I said, because y'all don't be shopping. I ain't wasting my money. You know,
I know that's right.
My girls, the women will shop. We ain't got to go nowhere, but we're going to shop. And so, yeah, so I motivated myself and I opened a business, not even knowing that was going to be my baby because I wasn't expecting the thing that came later. But when that came later, concerning my divorce and all of that, I had my Recia boutique to hold on to. It kept me going. So, you know, God just know our life and he just placed us where we need to be. Because I feel like if I had not created that boutique at the time, I would have been in a bad, worse situation when I was going through my divorce because I had nothing to keep me occupied.
Yeah.
You know, so everything just happened. So that's my baby. Recia Boutique is my baby. I just love it and I just appreciate it. And when I see my clothes on people, I'll be like, you don't know. It's not even about the money. You are supporting a dream. You are supporting this little girl that had no dream, no hope. Okay, no hope at all. And for me to see myself as an entrepreneur, for me to see myself, growing every day and just evolving every day, it is a blessing. If no one is proud of me, I'm so proud of myself. Yeah. So that's how Recia Boutique came about.
Yes, retail therapy as around there is sharing with us, and for many folks, that was the way that they also got through. So imagine, as you were saying, God brings things to us to not only be a blessing to us, but we were at home like, what am I doing with this time? And hopefully all of those clothes that we bought, I know I'm doing it, right? We're reaching in the closet, still got stuff with the tags on it, but we are wearing it now while we are outside. Okay.
Yes.
Outside of the snow. We still trying to get that way outside, make sure we are sharing that fabulousness. So I love that, just the story and the inspiration behind how it all came to be. I know is an inspiration for our viewers and our viewing audience. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Just start, man. If you want to do a business, listen, guys, just start. Just start. That's it. You just have to start. Don't you even worry. Just start. Yeah, that's all. Mm-hmm. Take it from me. Just start.
Girl, listen. I know you keep seeing these random grins pop across my face as I'm listening to you share, and there is so much similarity between you and I and how we started almost every individual piece of our branding journey. So I can relate to so much of what you're sharing, and I just got to share with you, girl. That's how I ended up getting into modeling as well. A good friend of mine, we were just out eating some cheese sticks and potato skins at the karaoke spot, and she was looking at me and she was like, Nikita, you are so beautiful. You would make an excellent model. And here I am thinking, girl, I'm a whole size 18. They don't want me on the runway. But what I discovered at that time was the plus size modeling industry was just beginning. And so I decided to go ahead and get me some training. Shout out to Barbizon. I'm a proud Barbizon graduate. I'm also a graduate of the Barbizon Acting School, and I'm grateful that I went on to train specifically in the lane of plus modeling with the illustrious Gwen DeVoe. Now, y'all may not know her name, but y'all gonna know it in a minute because she's going to be honored at Northeast PA Fashion Week at NEPA.
Okay.
Yes, I was like, yes, bring Diva on over, bring her through. So I have the opportunity to wrap my arms around her neck because back in the day, she knew I wasn't nothing but a little church girl trying to do something different and step outside the box. And she would often tease me. She called me Peanut, y'all. Make a reference to my head. She basically Peanut head. She called me Peanut. But when I would start walking, she said, "Girl, you don't walk like you went to church today at all."
Oh, my.
Oh goodness.
Share this story to encourage, like you just did. I got to add to what you said, Recia. Anybody out there, just start.
Yep.
You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have all of your ducks in a row. But as we often heard it said, inch by inch,
There you go.
everything's a cinch. Or to quote quite a few people, because people done plagiarized this saying, I believe it originated with MLK. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. One step. So yes, Recia, continue to encourage everyone around you to just start. I'm inspired all the more to continue to push forward with all I endeavor to pull up out of my dream space and make manifest in this atmosphere. And I'm even more inspired because we finally were able to make this connection online.
Yes.
You know, hearing the stories of the ebbs and flows that other creatives go through. We need more of this. What do you think about that, Recia?
We need more. What you say?
Encouragement amongst
Oh
the
yeah.
creative circle.
Oh yeah,
What-
we do. Yes, we do, because you know, sometimes the people around us may not believe in us, right? They may not believe in us. And even when you go out, like for example, I will share a story where when I started the modeling thing, I had a couple of those clothes in my face, you know, because maybe they wasn't looking for dark skin girl. They just did not want maybe the accent, whatever the situation may be. I actually had an agent tell me that I was too dark, you know. Oh, you so beautiful, but you just, yeah, too dark, you know. But that did not stop me. In fact, like I told Ja, when she said that, she don't even know what that did to me. She just gave me more reason to continue, because I knew that I needed to hear some no down the road to encourage me, because all I needed was that 1 yes. So everyone saying you're so beautiful, but they not hiring you, could crush me. So if you say I'm so beautiful, if you say I look good in your magazine, you say I can be a print model, so why aren't you hiring me? You know, but I did not focus on that. I kept going. And I went to this one agent in King of Pressure. And when that lady met me, she is like, she was just sitting waiting for me. First of all, she sent me a photo shoot and she added me to her roster and started booking me for shows, you know. So had not listened to my gut and just allowed those discouraging words to discourage me, I wouldn't have continued my goal. I wouldn't have continued my dream, you know, and I wouldn't have been over there. So don't you allow anyone to tell you can't do it. You know, you have to be strong enough. Understand that when you are trying to do something, there has to be some failures down the road. There is no success without a failing story. All right. You have to understand there will be something, even in business. You might fail. You may not make profit. You may not make money. You may lose some money. But if it is your dream, you have to continue to do it, because eventually it's going to come together. Eventually it's going to be a fruit. Okay. You have to continue. It's just, you have to be persistent with whatever that is. Don't you allow anyone to tell you can't be what you want to be, because you can. You can. It may not happen the first time, the second time, or the third time, but it's going to happen eventually. You have to keep that consistency. So, yeah.
The doors of the church are now open. Tonight's word was brought to you.
If I can do it, guys, y'all can do it. If I can do it, you too can do it. You too can.
We got Prophetess Recia in the building on tonight, encouraging people on this evening, sharing her story I'm encouraging you all to continue to pursue. Wasn't that the word for
Yes.
2024, Karen?
Yep.
Continue to pursue despite the naysayers, because
Yes.
at the end of the day, we can relate, girl. Somebody told me no too many times, and
Very
I never
neat.
back down from a challenge, because my name legitimately, it literally means victorious people. My name means victory, baby. I ain't losing. Ain't no
That's
failure
right.
over here.
No
We ain't
failure.
losing, we learning. Karen,
We're
I'm certain
learning.
you've heard quite a few no's, but look at you now. We declaring
Yeah.
Dr. Karen Sims Harrell over your life.
Amen. Amen. I'm gonna take a nap and get right at it.
Hey, there are things that are specifically for us.
Yes.
And what God has for us is for us.
Yes.
No matter how many electric barbed wire fence surrounded by rabid Rottweilers and bulldogs we encounter,
Yes.
we will obtain the goal if we continue to pursue walking boldly in the grace that we've been blessed with by our faith in God. And I know that that's something that keeps us together as we continue to move through these creative avenues. So, Recia, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. I'm looking forward to including you in the latter part of the show, because we
Yes.
got to keep the show moving right on along. All right.
Mhm.
So before we do that, you are multifaceted like Clairol. You're multi-talented. And I'm sure somebody is going to listen to this broadcast and want to work with you and want to connect with you. Can you please share with our viewers and listeners how they can connect with you?
Yes, so you can find me on all of my social medias. For my podcast, Let's Get Unmuted is on YouTube and Facebook. And you can also find me on Instagram at Let's Get Unmuted and The Real Recia. So THEREAL Recia, RECIA. You can also send me your email info@unmuted.us if you want to collaborate on anything. That's the best place to get me. You can find my book on Amazon. Unmuted is on Amazon. So those are the ways you can find me.
Oh, yes. I appreciate you, sis. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so
And
much.
thank you for having me.
Yes.
No problem. So listen, y'all are tuned in to Unhinged Live. It's your girl, Tilted Halo, sitting alongside my good girlfriend, Karen Sims Harrell of Twisted Threads, LLC. And joining us for tonight's conversation is the lovely Recia Kabbah, author of Unmuted, host of Let's Get Unmuted podcast. We about to turn the dial, turn it up a notch, and I'm about to move on out the way and let DJ Cash do her thing.
That part. Listen, y'all know this is one of my favorite parts of the show as we introduce you to an interlude before we get into the next portion of our show. So tonight we're highlighting and we're super excited because it's our sister Zion the Voice with Change Gonna Come featuring Gloria Spruce. So listen, if y'all know, we've been rocking with Zion for a little while now, and we see her all the time in these internet streets giving banging music for us, not only to rock to, but also to reflect on. So listen, I just need you to buckle up because where we about to go, y'all already know, we do our best to have a little rock with it, lean with it, do what we need to do with it. But here's Zion the Voice with Change Gonna Come. Da 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 da. Ooh. Mary, don't you weep. Tell Martha not to mourn, 'cause change is coming soon. Tell me, what do you say to a mother who lost a child in the middle of the streets of the gun heat? And tell me, what do you say to a child who lost a father dying in the streets by the hands of the police? Saying I can't breathe in his last breath. Nukes around the neck, mentally, emotionally, no respect. Racist bias affects us all, killing our communities and families, and even more in streams. Discarding us like tissue blowing in the wind. The stage women and actors, but only few puppeteering to pump fear into the masses, incarcerating hope, parading us around like we're all equal. Man, what an illusion. Wild blood spills from innocent people. My God say we're equal and we're regal. Blood cries out like Cain and Abel. Man, please stop feeding us fables. Mary, don't you weep. Tell Martha not to mourn, 'cause change is coming soon. Like Shakespeare, won't you lend me your ear? Prepare yourself, those that have Christ have no fear. Many will die at the hands of themselves. Religious change in Christ, counterfeits and wars will arise. Prepare your families, the Antichrist will shed his disguise. Wicked women in politics, and we don't know why. Read your word, become the word, and soon be taken. Lean not to what you understand, know that God is making. And many plots will come against the Christian, but I pray that you stand upon your mission, ain't no slipping. Soon America will lose its power because she refuses to surrender to our Father. Darkness will soon fill the streets, so I admonish you to read your word and stay lit. For the kingdom is at hand. The kingdom is at hand. Mary, don't you weep. Tell Martha not to mourn, 'cause change is coming soon. There you have it. All right. Listen, a lot to think about. I told y'all was gonna get some thought-provoking messaging in her music. Change gonna come. Shout out Zion.
Yeah, change gonna come. Yeah,
Change gonna
change
come.
is coming. Yes, that's
Yes.
beautiful.
Yes.
So inspiring. Yeah.
Thank you. Listen, y'all know I always like, Lord, what we gonna play for the people tonight? What we gonna play for the people tonight? And I'm grateful that we are planted in the middle of a camp of so many talented people of faith.
Yes.
And I actually reached out to Zion and let her know that I was going to use that song tonight. And you know, Karen, you know Zion. She put it out there. She was like, yo, how timely. And in my head, I was like, girl, exactly. You the prophetess. What you thought this was? She wrote this when we were on lockdown, and I promise you, I know exactly where Zion was when she shot that video. She was out there evangelizing in the parks and in the streets, bringing the word of God outside of the four walls to the people that will never go inside. So thank you again, Zion, for penning a word that is so appropriate for such a time as this. So check it out. Let me get some water because you know I'm about to do it. You know I'm about to do it.
Yeah,
You know
you
I'm about
gonna do it. You gonna do it. Oh man, listen. Go ahead. We're gonna get ourselves prepared for
get
where
my
we
dangle on. I gotta
about
work
to
my
go.
elbow out because I can't be cramping up on air. Ready?
That is true. Ready.
Ready? What's really going on? What's
Hey.
really going on?
Really?
What's really going on?
What's really going
What's
on?
really going on?
What's really
Hey,
going on? Hey, on and on
hey,
and on and on and on. It's going on and on and on.
total confusion. Listen. Listen. What's really going on, y'all? We about to get into it. And of course, Recia, we're going to bring you in because we want to hear your point of view on this subject matter on tonight. First, we got to get into Lord have mercy. I was at the workplace on Saturday evening, and I thought I was going to go on over to the TikTok Nation and check to see if I had any new followers, because I'm over there growing things specifically for a purpose. But baby, I got the message that TikTok was no longer available in the United States with this, another message saying, but no worries. President Trump has pledged to help us work through this particular issue, or whatever the rest of the message has said. I was like, oh, snap. It started already. So then fast forward, I woke up Sunday morning and my Facebook timeline was an outcry from parents everywhere who were dealing with children who were crashing out. That's what the young folks is saying right now. The kids was crashing out because they could not access TikTok, crying. They were angry. They did not know what they were going to do next, right? Next thing you know, TikTok was back on. But for the people who actually in the moment go ahead and removed it off their phone, baby, when they found out it was back on, can you talk about heartbreak, soul crushing ×2? They could not go back onto TikTok and re-download it out of their app stores. So we're gonna get into this. I've been having mad conversations about these social media websites. You've been with me, Karen. You already know the progression of these internet portals over the years have basically manifested into something that we've been talking about. So now we're living it. We're now living in the day where social media has become our principal entertainment for our teens, tweens, and all of the rest of them. Baby, you got the silver foxes out there camping up, doing dances. You got the nursing home residents out there turning up with their caregivers. Listen, all things creative, whether it's good or bad, you can find it on TikTok. Listen, I was very intentional. Thank God I crashed out about not becoming so dependent on the rabbit hole that we know as TikTok.
That's right.
But we also understand why so many people were crashing out, because a lot of people were making a substantial amount of money on the TikTok, whether it was from engagement or from sales in their individual TikTok shops. Y'all know y'all see this. I got on now. I got this out the TikTok shop in support of our girl Yolanda Lucas, tribe member Yolanda. Shout out to Yolanda. So I was like, I like that. It's cute. Let me go to Yolanda's store. She was actually selling in that day at the price I was willing to pay. I had to cop me something to gussy up a fit. And I'm wearing that on tonight. So listen, what was your experience, ladies, during the TikTok shutdown? Now, Recia, I'll say this to you, Recia. I'm sorry, I keep saying your name because my accent be switching from East Coast to West Coast because I'm bi-coastal.
It's okay. I'm the worst one with pronouncing names, so that don't bother me.
But your name is,
I'm the queen of that one.
But listen here, I'm gonna give you an out on this one because I know you were out networking this weekend, so you may not have necessarily been as in tune to this as we were. But Mimi over there got some grands that probably had some situations that she had to diffuse because of the TikTok downage. So let's get into it. Karen, what's going on?
I wasn't paying them babies no mind. They better. I will say that there was an uptick of my Netflix password. That's all we're gonna say on that between that time. And I had to give the reminder because folks started wigging out in their minds a little bit earlier. But you know, us international travelers, we do understand that there are other time zones, and the day doth begin for those across the world a little bit earlier. So it was like, it's not time. Where my stuff go? Everybody made it all right. We had one casualty, not TikTok related, but yeah, they made it. But there was a lesson, right? Some of this stuff you just got to sit and wait. Like that was a whole prophetic biblical principle lesson for those who said, well, I'm going to delete it since it's going. Some of us know that there's money in them their heels, so the folks gonna figure out a way, and you just sometimes you gotta sit and wait, right? We talked about that, learning how to pray, learning how to tarry, learning how to sit down somewhere and let it work itself out, because that's all that really happened. For the people who was panicking, I admit I had a couple of my social media friends that I just was like, this is wild, right? And I'm gonna tell you why it was wild to me, Tilted Recia, because we grown. It wasn't just the youngins that was losing their mind. Like, we would have been able to be the support aunties, right? I was ready to be the support auntie. But when it's my sister, bigger and sometimes equal than me, wigging and wilding out over the TikTok, it's like, y'all already know what this is, right? Social media. How many times we done posted that Facebook message, that meta message, I do not give permission for, and don't nothing change, right? If they gonna give me $1 million at the end of I still Mark ain't sent nothing to my account yet. Like, we've been here for a minute to have the experience to know how it's supposed to go. So I'm side-eyeing y'all, because it ain't even take all that. Y'all knew it was going to be off. You knew it was going to come back on. That was just me. I was like, oh, okay, see y'all in a couple of days. I will admit, though, it happened. Why did it happen? Because it was hours that it was down. Like, if you could have did that, I don't know. You probably could have just let it lay where it is and not be the savior. But all right, I digress. All right, now we all back on track. The kids get to do their 2 shuffle dance, and I think order has been restored in the households of all teenagers and TikTokians everywhere. So
that's what we call them, TikTokians?
We calling them TikTokians. I know.
Yeah, I mean, like the kid just said, I wasn't paying too much attention to the TikTok thing. First of all, I was busy the whole weekend, and I'm not a TikTok fan, really. I haven't been a TikTok fan. I have all these social medias. I'm busy running my business. I'm busy promoting between Instagram, Facebook, Poshmark, like all these different apps. I can't keep up. So once in a while, I go on there TikTok because I have a TikTok shop, but I'm not one of those people that are so connected with TikTok like that. But I also understand that, the kids, I'm not worried about that so much, because like, these kids are so disconnected from the world now. It's like you take away their phone, it's like they're dead. They're about to kill somebody. So I would love to have these kids be still, be still, be able to live your life without this social media thing. Be somebody. You can't just be on your phone all day. I tell my daughter all the time, like, there's so much you guys are missing. I love life. I came up when kids used to go outside and play with each other. connect with each other. But now it's like no human no more. Everybody just into their phone. They eating, they into their phone. You calling them, they can barely hear you. It is so annoying. So if that was the only reason for TikTok, I would be happy that they don't have that. But then when you look on the other side, there are people that are making living out of this. People that are making living. So when you think about it, I'm like, okay, so this person cannot use this TikTok now. Where they're going to get that money from? Because that's where they've been surviving for the last couple years, right? So now do you go find a job right away? When is that going to happen? So I think about that. But that side of the whole TikTok thing, I get it. For business reason, I get it. But when it comes to just people on there just doing videos or kids just being distracted, because there's a good side, there's a bad side to it. And I don't like, where it just consume this generation. The internet has just consumed this generation. We lose our kids just by these apps, they don't care to even connect with each other anymore. You will have kids in the house that don't even talk to each other. They're just on the phone all day. They don't build that relationship, that sibling relationship anymore. You the parent, you want to go talk to them, they're shutting the doors because you're disturbing their peace, they're making some videos, it just, all of those things, I don't like it. But it was interesting to see how people was going crazy about it. Like you said, even grown women, like grown people, like, come on, girl. Like, really? Like, seriously, like, it's not that serious. Yeah. So it was interesting to see that. So learn how to sit still, learn how to put your phone down and just be normal. Be normal.
Yeah. Hey, that makes perfect sense. And I couldn't have said it better myself, sis. And this is why we cool. I recognize the pros and the cons of TikTok. I absolutely do. But when it, comes to impacting the quality of life for our children, like you said, we used to go outside and play. Some of us had to use a pumice stone on our knees for years to lighten up them black spots that we had on our knees for falling down, skinning them and picking the scabs off before they was ready. We scarred up our knees because we was outside playing. Our first foray into video games and digital atmosphere and such was what? The Atari? Was it Atari that came for us first?
Yeah.
The Pong?
Yes.
Yeah. And it was very archaic. Now in hindsight, when I look at just a little thing, and we would do that for hours. But even then, there were limits, and we still look forward to going outside and getting the physical activity that we needed to keep us healthy. TikTok. Yeah. Now, I got to go ahead and say it. We all know how the TikTok ban was initially instigated and put in place. And that was actually instigated back in 2020 by our now current sitting president-in-chief or commander-in-chief. And I just really hope that those of you who would look to continue to actively use TikTok as a source of income, I would implore you to actively consider another option for yourself, because I was very disturbed, and I had a few conversations with different people about the false realities so many have created for themselves within that TikTok space. In that TikTok space, they find their security. In that TikTok space, they find their self-esteem. In that TikTok space, they are allowed to be whoever they present to the world. But then when the electricity goes out and you can't charge your phone, you still have the responsibility of discovering who you are in real life. Are you really a dancing dance machine like you would like to play to be on the TikTok? Are you really as knowledgeable as you jump headfirst into the camp of conspiracy theorists out there? passing the wrong information in the TikTok world. Listen, I've had people come at me and almost bite my head off because they were adamant that what Jethro, who had been incarcerated for 15 years, listen, they stood 10 toes down with the wrong information, even though the correct information was sitting right there in black and white in their face. Listen, let's get back to real life community, y'all. Y'all see that happening here right now, live on the Unhinged live broadcast. We got our sister in the podcast game sitting in here with us. We've had so many other people. We are connecting because at the end of the day, when the music stops, when the lights go off, when there are no microphones, do you have some people skills?
Amen. Amen.
You know how to practice the art of effective communication? Or do you even maintain and retain the basic respect for human life and understanding that, unlike in a video game, when you go pew pew and you shoot somebody dead, in real life, they don't come back.
Right.
That only happens in a digital space. So let's get back to Jax. How about that? On the hardwood floor with that red bouncy ball. Let's get back to teaching our young men how to dig a pit in the dirt and shoot marbles.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some of us still got a little bit of good knees left in us.
Well, right now.
And we can go outside with our granddaughters and our younger sisters and our nieces and the young ladies from the neighborhood and teach them what it feels like to go home exhausted from playing hopscotch in the sun.
Good time.
Yeah.
Double Dutch.
Double Dutch kept us physically fit. If we got
it's actually sad.
We was guilty back then, wasn't we?
We were.
Yeah, it's actually sad that the kids now don't have that. Like, they don't even know the other neighbor. They don't even know like how you used to know your neighbors, and the kids are all friends and people grew up like in this age now. You know your neighbor from then because that's how you're connected. Oh, that's my neighbor from. But now you can meet your neighbor in the street. You don't even know that's your neighbor because nobody talk to anybody. No one connect. You know, we have kids right across the street. My daughter don't know them. They don't know her because everybody's on their own. Everybody go to school, come home, they're on their phone. Nobody got patience. Like, I don't like it. I just, it's good to just be still connect and just talk, get to know people and be regular, you know. So this whole internet situation with our men doing like businesses. So I'm always on there promoting and stuff. I don't care for it. Yeah. Right. It just take you to a whole different place where you don't even know yourself anymore. You lose yourself. You lose yourself.
Yeah.
So people have to learn, you know, it's good, but it's bad. It's, you know, too much of anything is bad for you. So I just, you know, but it's that's the life we live now. That's the world we're in, right? What can we do? That's the world we're in. Can we do? The kids are 2 years old and you already have an iPhone 14. Like, what?
Right? Yeah. You ain't even got no job to pay for that.
Yeah, you ain't even got no job.
You got on a whole pull up. How you know how to get to YouTube?
Yes, they know. They know.
But they know.
Oh, they do know. I got a whole, you know, Mimi's crew. First thing they say when they get in here, Mimi, do you have YouTube? Hold up, where is this going? Before I give you access to anything, where are we going with this? So
yes,
they know it.
Mm-hmm.
They do.
But let's try and get back to going outside. Nature hikes, beaches, car trips with fried chicken and white bread. Let's get back to that.
Now.
Yeah,
you know about that fried chicken with that white bread.
Right. Jump some ropes. Jump some ropes. I used to love it when people just jump some ropes and just work out. It was so better. People were so healthy then. But now it's like no, like people are so antisocial now. Everybody just by themselves, and it's okay, guys. You ain't gonna die with TikTok or not. You ain't gonna die. You're gonna be fine.
You're not gonna die. Be ready, because the bigger and the better. Maybe on the way to even take TikTok out of the top spot. We never know, because it it could actually go the way of MySpace, Black Planet, Black Voices, and so many others. Mahente. Listen, there was mad social media, Yahoo 360 groups. And I'm like you, sis. I ain't got time to be all over these apps. I work 2 jobs. I'm building a brand.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go actually sit down and have a meal with my girls, talking to them face to face. I might even go to the shindig and cut a rug or two. Y'all know I love to dance. Let's get back to being together outside the matrix, y'all.
Right.
Outside the matrix. So look, I'm looking at the clock. And do you think we got time for one more topic of discussion, Miss Karen?
We're gonna make time. We're gonna make
time for this.
Why?
Y'all.
You know why? You know why we're gonna make time? Cause it's our show. We can do what we want to do. We can do what we want to do.
So listen. Karen, now you started this one with me yesterday, and I went on a whole tangent. So I'm gonna let you take my fault on this one.
Yep, it was my fault. So I'm always asking the question because we are a cancel-free zone, right? We won't be canceling nobody. So we started having a conversation about canceling, right? Versus accountability. And shout out to our brother and tribe mate, Rashim Kilo Pugh. He had something on his page and he's like, we can't cancel them because, we shouldn't be worried about it. But I had to bring up another point, right? So whether you rocked with them ever, and we talking about Snoop Dogg, we're talking about Nelly, we talking about Rick Ross and Soulja Boy, all performing for the inauguration of the current sitting commander-in-chief.
It was the crypto ball, specifically the crypto ball.
The crypto ball. There we go. Yeah. So crypto ball. And folks are like, we canceling them. I can't believe they did this. They sold out. They this, they that, but I don't want nobody's bills, right? This is the reason why we don't cancel nobody, because I cannot contribute to your bills and mine in a lot of the situations, okay? And I know what my bills are. I don't know what your bills are. So we're going to leave you over there with your bills. But the conversation came, are we canceling them? Right. And so some people said, I'm not buying nothing else. We putting them in the box. That cancel box is getting full. Let me just say that. But there's another layer to this conversation, right? We've already said we're not canceling them. But I had to bring up the question because it's like, okay, even though we're not canceling them, how do we hold the people who are holding role model status accountable for the decisions that they made, right? So we got a bunch of people, and I'm just gonna put it like this, right? 8 years, however many years ago. In them years ago, we had somebody who we was dogging on Chrisette Michelle, right? Y'all remember we was dogging on her because how dare she have a bill that she needed to pay and somebody was gonna pay her to perform like she was not, and she got thrown all the way to the side. Now, some of these names that I mentioned were on that bandwagon at that time saying how that was not the right thing to do. Now, certain people stayed quiet. They ain't say nothing, but we already know that silence is the new vote. So if you ain't say nothing in support or against, we gonna put that you was in support of the ragging of the sister. Now it's time for the brothers, right? And we don't normally see a lot of cancelization of the brothers, but in this particular time, the brothers is going really hard. They like, I ain't never rocked with them. They corny. I never saw, like, I've been rocking with Snoop. When he do his crip walk, I try to do my version of it. When he was on Super Bowl, I was with it. When he had the kid television show, I was there. When he put little princess on that he met, and now she a part of a song and a part of the Snoop Dogg Nation, I was there for it. But I got questions for Snoop and them, right? I got questions for Nelly and them. I understand because Nelly got new diapers. Listen, when you have a certain age and you got new diapers, these new diapers will change your world, right? They're gonna change your whole situation because the diapers don't cost. We used to get them 2 for $5, or they was like $5. They not that cost no more. I stay out that aisle because it's actually very depressing when you walk down that diaper aisle. But I wonder, and there's the question of, do we hold them accountable for one, the actions and stances that some of them took in the past, right? To put that mirror up, be like, remember when it wasn't you and you had a lot to say? What you saying now? As well as they're role models for people in our culture and our community. What say we? Do we hold them accountable, or is it everybody grown and they get to do what they want to do, and we just gonna let them, cash their checks, and we ain't got to worry about it? What say we in the extra caramel peanut gallery over here?
Yeah. Well, you already know, sis, I don't play. I'm petty, and I'm known to throw shade. Check it out. Listen, I don't listen to none of these jokes no more anyway. Wait, I don't have my shade fan, but I got a church fan on this desk. Let me get into it. Listen, I ain't listening to none of these jokers anyway. When Ricky Rose come across my playlist, I usually hit skip. Soldier Boy come through. Soldier Boy up in there. Oh, listen, I barely know how to do the Soldier Boy dance. All I know how to do is you. Because again, my knees ain't built for the Soldier Boy dance. No. Okay, now Nelly, listen. Nelly, it was hot in here a long time ago. And I took a ride with you in the Lunatics a long time ago. Mm-hmm. And the only reason, and I'm already saying the intro, I'm petty and I'm known to throw shade, honey. Listen, the only reason why I'm even paying attention to you and your name is even on the radar in my life is because you done got back with Shawnee. You should have never left her in the first place, okay? So, yeah, like Karen said, we understand you need that diaper money because you can't let Ashanti down. You can't let them children that you're making with her down. Hey, go on and do what you need to do. Now I got to come back to Uncle Snoop.
cousin.
Y'all know this is part of my Cali. I know it's part of my California heritage, y'all. It's not happenstance that I got this on. Snoop, dude, you was one of the main ones going hard. So he was one of the main ones going hard after everybody who made the choice. The first inauguration for 47. Now you out here performing in the middle of our now sitting president releasing his own cryptocurrency. And I was talking to somebody on this morning that let me know exactly how his cryptocurrency price skyrocketed when nobody was paying attention. They could have got in when it was penny stock. The price, you know how they price it.
Yeah.
Get that profit, and then they let that profit, that number drop so they can get more in profit. It's all game, y'all. But Snoopy, we love you. But we side-eyeing you real hard. No, my screen is not frozen, y'all. That is just me.
You froze yourself. I can't.
Side-eyeing Snoop right now because I'm crammed to understand. I really want to know what's really going on, and how you, Mr. Dog, plan to explain yourself to all of the young men that you coach in that youth football league. Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate that many of our youngsters these days have no one to look up to but these celebrities as role models. Mm-hmm. But I would just hope and pray that you're ready, Snoop, for what's getting ready to come. I pray for all of these men who went on out there and did their thing in the name of the love of the money, because basically that's what it all boils down to. Mm-hmm. You was willing to risk this awesome legacy to be at the crypto ball.
Yeah.
letting a whole lot of your supporters down. You know, people in our community are still reeling from the results of our most recent presidential election. And many of us understand what is truly at stake for the next 4 years of our lives. And no, Snoop, I'm not going to cancel you, but I will say it's going to be a minute.
Yeah. Gotta digest that, right?
It's going to be a minute before I can sit and be like, you on the skip list right now. You're not canceled, but you on my skip list because we grew up listening to you. Come on, Snoop. Is all money good money?
No,
Is all money good money?
no. But people going
Did
to,
you really need it?
yeah.
What do you have to say, Recia?
Pretty much nothing because I, I'm just listening. Listen, I haven't really been following these things. I can tell when last I turned on TV. I'm not into the politics thing because I know me. If I get into it, I'm gonna be consumed with it, and then I don't want to go to bed crying. I don't want to go to bed,
That's
miserable. So when you say sports and politics, I try to stay away from them. However, with social media these days, you don't even have to watch TV. You're still gonna hear what's going on, right? You can be in a car, you're gonna hear what's going on. So when I heard this today, in fact, what really got me was like they took the whole thing off on Ashanti. They're like, oh, her whole fan base like was done with her. The meaning they heard Nelly was doing this, like they cancel her. Her whole fan base was going crazy, and oh, Ashanti, that's your baby daddy and stuff. And I'm like, okay, poor girl. But now I don't even think he knows why he did it. I think it's just for the money because the little clip that I saw about his interview, he doesn't even know much about why he's doing what he's doing. All right. This guy could not even answer a direct question. He doesn't even know. So in this moment for him, I think he did it mostly for the money. And so sometimes we don't know people situation and why they do what they do, and this is why you cannot put so much trust in human being as a whole, because we are naturally made to disappoint each other, right? Disappoint each other. In this moment, I just hope for our next 4 years to be peaceful. It's like I want the 4 years to just be done already, like tomorrow. Because, like just come on blue, like, okay, it's over. Now we don't have to deal with that no more. The possibility of doing that is over after the 4 years. But yeah, so for the Snoop Dogg thing, you're right. Because now, why you now, when you was entered that before, why are you part of it now? So again, people gonna do what they want to do, but the cancel thing for Nelly, I won't say I will cancel him. For me, I won't say I will cancel him, but you're just showing who you are. You're just showing who you are, and for the rest of them, you're just showing who you are actually, because like you said, all money isn't good money. But then again, he just have a new baby, so who knows? Maybe he really need that money. Maybe he really need that money. But what if that opportunity did not present itself? So are you not gonna live? Do you? So I'm like, do you really need that money though? Are you gonna risk everything just for that one thing? So at the end of the day, I can't judge what I don't know behind the scene. I just, in general, I just wish this can be over with already, because I don't like it, and that's why I don't like to consume myself into it, because I get frustrated. But I have a friend where we just go back and forth about it. When the topic come up, be like, all right, bye, just leave me alone, because we are on two different sides. He's like all the way over there, I'm like over here. I say, if we were married, I'm divorcing you. You know, he said, for what? I said, for that, I'm divorcing you. Like, you know, so stuff like that. So yeah, who knows? Who knows? But I think that Ashanti taking a hit on it is not fair to her. In
Yeah.
my opinion, it's not fair to her. But Nelly's gonna do what Nelly's gonna do. But Nelly don't have a clue. So the fact that he doesn't have a clue, what can we do? He doesn't have a clue, because when you listen to the dude, you're like, okay, he doesn't even know anything about this man. All right, he doesn't. So he's doing it for the money. I really believe he's doing it for the money.
Yeah. So we gonna keep these chocolate brothers in prayer.
Yes, we shall.
Yeah.
That's the best we can offer at this point.
That's the
but
best
yeah,
we can do. Yeah.
we ain't canceling. I'm just skipping.
Skip. That's good.
You can mute him a little bit. Put him on mute a little bit, and then, you know, come back.
I like the mute. I do like the mute. We don't have to cancel. We can.
Yeah, we can.
But
mute him a
see, hear
little
what
bit.
I'm saying to you. You know how Spotify work, right?
Yes.
They get paid every time I play these song. They get a couple cents.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Don't download anything. Don't get him no more money.
I'm a subscriber, and sometimes things just pop up in my playlist, and I skips.
Yeah.
I don't download. I skip.
Yeah.
And I promise you, it's this song that Rick Ross is on that comes on with Chris Brown in my playlist. I promise. Every time it comes on, and this was even before this whole performance thing.
Mm-hmm.
Something about Ricky Rose's part on it just don't sit well with me, so I've always skipped it.
Yeah.
I've been skipping, so we're gonna stick in the vein of skipping.
Yeah.
Nelly don't never come up in my playlist, so that just tell you what kind of music.
My.
He don't never come up in my playlist because it curates according to what I typically tend to listen to. Snoop, I outgrew all of that. I went and found the Lord, started cleaning myself up, started guarding my ear gates, and shout out to the West Side, because y'all know that's where I grew up. But some of that stuff ain't even for me. I've outgrown it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, all I know is you from that other child that was out there performing. Okay, so I'm skipping. Y'all do what y'all need to do, but I'll say this before we slide on into the last part of the show. Listen, just continue to watch him as well as pray, because that is our charge as believers, right? So just continue to keep everybody covered in prayer, because whether we recognize it or not, we all in this together. We just on different levels of the boat. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we got to move it right along. Because I'm getting a little hungry. Yeah, I did have a nice big bowl of collard greens before we came on air tonight, but I need some spiritual nourishment to go alongside what I had perfectly prepared with the smoked turkey necks and that they're crock pot in my kitchen. So get ready to receive another on-time ready word from our very own master in-house life coach. She's certified in all of them, y'all. Coach Cash with this week's reflection of purpose. Coach Cash, take it away, sis.
All right, we're getting right at it. Y'all know I always come with the title and try to get you right into it. Why? Because we ain't got no time to waste. But I want to remind you, I had a whole nother thought. And then we started to have these conversations, and these are real life messages for you all. So today's title is get focused. Get focused. Many of us have seen and experienced what distraction causes, right? We got to play catch up right now for what happened over the weekend because we wasn't focused. We got to play catch up for what's happening in our states, right? New laws came into effect January 1st, new tax rules, new everything. Everything's new, but we're distracted by the shiny thing, right? We distracted by the snow that done come down here that I really believe that it's the weather machine, but that's just me. We're distracted that there are laws in Florida that said keep that weather machine away from us. We got enough to deal with. But in real life, in your thoughts about what it is you want to do for 2025, we are 21 days in, right? We were supposed to create a new habit right now. We were supposed to create some consistency in the principles that we said were number one. We were supposed to, and now we got to regroup, right? Some of us stayed on point, right? Some of y'all, and I'm saying y'all because I didn't really do all of the fasting, but I did do focus. How about that? Because that's the whole purpose of the fasting. For those of you who are unaware or unsure, and it's like, is this the fast that I'm called to? I don't know. But if you in it just to lose 5 pounds for the Valentine's Day dress, I'm gonna ask you to reconsider your motive. Okay, I'm gonna ask you to reconsider the things. Now, here's the one thing we didn't talk about this week, but come on back next week. We're gonna talk about it, right? Cuffing season is almost over.
Cuffing season almost over.
Some of y'all got distracted and been distracted the whole doggone fall and winter. But now we calling you back in. Come on into position. Come on in and get focused on the things that your family needs, on the things that you need for your health, for your wealth, and your mental well-being, right? Health, wealth, mental well-being. These are the things that if you are focused on, you know what's going to change your entire life. And you know what else going to happen? I'm going to be able to get my cake that y'all already know I'm here for. I am here for the cake, but we can't get there unless you set the goal, unless you stay focused on not being distracted. Yeah, the people in your inbox. Yeah, the people outside doing crazy stuff. Yes, the government is doing the most right now. But you know what you still have? Last week, our purpose coach, Keita, reminded us to what? Be community. Come and be in unity with those people who are around you. That's one way for you to stay focused. Get you in a circle of some like-minded sisters and brothers that's going to allow you they're going to help you stay accountable to the goals that you set for yourself. Sometimes we say a thing and then we think nobody's listening, and so it gets to go by the wayside because nobody is listening. But if you get some purpose pushers in your life, you know what will happen. You will be able to stay on course with the things that you have said. These are the things that I desire. These are the passions of my heart. And the people who really love you will not let you fail. Stay focused for those accountability partners. I remind you, make the call, send the email, send the text, check in on the people that you said you would come alongside and hold their arms up like you Aaron today Moses. Why? Because if they ever needed you before, they sure do need you now. That's your word for today. Stay focused. Y'all make it amazing. Why? Because you can. It's in your power to change your entire existence just by staying focused and doing the things that you done already said you was going to do. Tilted, right back at you.
And I got you, sis. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that impactful word of encouragement you just shared. And as we prepare to leave the airwaves on this evening, I want to go ahead and say thank you once again to our lovely guest, Recia. Blessings to you, Queen. I look forward to connecting with you soon and wrapping my arms around your neck and greeting. And thank you all. Those of you in our viewing and listening audience, and those of you who are checking us out on the replay, we appreciate your support. And we hope you come back again next week because we got a barn burner for y'all. Cooking up. But you know I got to do it. Before we leave on the evening, I got to encourage you to continue to just be. But tonight, in light of our conversations, it just dropped in my spirit to encourage you all to just continue to be kind. Because one random act of kindness really can change the world. And guess what? Kindness is absolutely free 99. It costs you nothing. It costs you nothing to flash that beautiful smile in passing to a stranger whose head may be hanging low and they might actually be downtrodden. Your smile might be the one to save their life that day. Or how about you open the door for a stranger, an elderly person that may or may not be struggling, just because you can? It costs you nothing to be kind. Just be kind.
Hmm.
We already know this last 6 months that we lived through was atrocious on so many people and their mental health. So we can only imagine, with some of the things we've heard implemented in the last 24 hours, how much more necessary kindness is going to be. So just be kind. It's within your power to just be. It's your girl Keita, Tilted Halo, sitting alongside my good girlfriend Karen Sims. Just amazingly blessed to have hosted you tonight, Recia. We appreciate your time, and we appreciate you all. And we hope, I'm trying to tell y'all won't miss next week. That's all I'm gonna say. Come on back around here.
Thank
Right?
you for having me.
We love you, girl. And I
Thank
guess
you.
what? The show is over. We out. Until next time, y'all.